Hi guys, welcome to Daddy and the Don, another episode of the Interrogation. My special guest today, talking all things Brentford on their first ever Premier League season, is Dougie. Hello, Doug. So, Doug, before we go on to the upcoming season, I'd just like to get your thoughts on last year, the ecstasy and the joy of finally making the Premier League. How did you feel, and how you feeling now about it? Do you still believe? Do you still not in shock about it? And what was it like finally able to achieve that after all these years?
Yeah, hi Graham. Going back to last season and more especially, I suppose, the playoff final and getting finally beating our hoodoo in finals and beating Swansea 2-0. On the day of the game, we more than dominated then, scoring the two goals very early. And of course, if Toney's shot from 20 odd yards hit the bar, if that had gone in, it would have been game over. We could have declared well before half time. But by the end of the game, I think we was definitely in control of the match, and we were deserved winners. Looking back on the season as a whole, I think I'm a little bit disappointed that we probably didn't go up automatically. Notwithstanding the fact that we did go up eventually and had our day in the sun, we won a final at Wembley, which was magnificent. But over the 46 games, I just felt there was far too many games where we drew 0-0, threw away points needlessly, and a lot of times there was games where we just didn't look like scoring at all. Shot shy in front of goal, and probably relying on Ivan for too much. But at the end of the day, I can't complain. We're up, we're Premier League, and that's all there is.
Okay, Doug, going on to this upcoming season, how are you feeling? What is your expectation? Do you think staying in the league is a real possibility? How are you feeling about that?
So looking forward to the new season, obviously I'm excited as an ex-person, and I think I think we're going to be good enough to stay up. I think, but I think also my head is telling me there could be some very nervy moments. If, Basically, we've got to be playing at 110% every single match. And if we do that, cut out some of the silly mistakes which we do tend to make, especially trying to play the ball out from the back, we should be okay.
So you've made a couple of signings, two really good signings. What do you think about them? Do you think they're both going to go straight into the team, and do you think they add real quality to the?
So looking at the two new signings, especially Aja and Onyeka, I think they may not start the new season, but what it does give us is more strength in depth. There's more quality there, and if they don't start and they come on, then we know that we're going to be well served by them. We haven't seen AJ yet in pre-season. I don't know why that is. Onyeka, in the two games that he's played so far, he's looked promising, and he's been playing in place of Norgard whilst Norgard has been coming back from the Euros. So I feel it just gives us a little bit more strength in depth, and it gives us the opportunity maybe to change things if it's not going too well in any particular match.
Is there any other players that you would like to come in? Do you think that the squad is strong enough to compete in the Premier League, or do you think you're quite happy? I know you mentioned there's a few positions that you would like to, but are you if it stays this way, do you think you got enough to stay in the league?
I think Thomas Frank will probably give the majority of the squad from last season the opportunity to show what they're worth in the coming season. However, I do feel personally that we probably need a goalkeeper to back up David Raya. Gunnarsson is going to be a good goalkeeper, but it just worries me if he's exposed at an early stage and he could lose his confidence. So, the type of goalkeeper I have in mind is sort of a journeyman goalie who's played some games at this sort of level, and he could come in with a full understanding that he's not number one choice, but he is there just in case we need him. In other positions, I think defensively, maybe another fullback, right back in particular, just to give Ruslev some extra cover. Midfield, probably we're okay now. Up front, I think goals could be our problem. If Ivan doesn't score the goals, I just wonder where the other goals are going to come from. You know, you take into consideration Fours and Canos, probably got 8 or 9 goals each last season, and behind Ivan Toney, you got 32. That's a big gap. I think we need somebody who could give us a dozen goals.
Do you think Thomas Frank will continue to play the same sort of football, be positive? And what formation do you think is going to happen? Do you think it's going to be a 4-3-3, or do you reckon they're going to go to what they played near the end of the season with the three at the back?
Looking at the formation of the team, Thomas Frank will probably start with 4-3-3. But what I like about it these days is that there's enough flexibility within the squad that he could change it to 3-5-3 or any other permutation as and when fits the occasion. We need to be more flexible. Like I said earlier, there was too many games last year that we drew 0-0 and we couldn't change it because all the substitutes were like for like. And hopefully this season, with the additions that we got, that's not the case. We can change things up and still, go forward and try and get the goals.
So what player do you think is going to really step up? You know, a lot of players, well, majority of the squad, all first seasons in the Premier League. So what player do you really think is going to step up to it and show that they've got the Premier League class? Is there someone in mind you think that's going to surprise a lot of people?
So for players that I would particularly look out for this season, I think Vitaly Janel in midfield is outstanding prospect. He really is. Every time I see him, he just seems to get more and more confident. He's not being overshadowed in the 2 games that we've seen him play so far. And the other one I think who's going to have a very good season is Brian Mbeumo. I think last season he did struggle for form. He persevered, which is great testament to the bloke himself. He battled on and he got his rewards towards the end of the season. I think towards the end, last few games, he was outstanding. I think I reflect on Ollie Watkins' time at Brentford now. Ollie, in his first season, he was really, really good. The second season, I think clubs found him out and he was easily marked and he didn't contribute much. Having said that, he did score quite a few goals. But his third season was his real breakthrough season, and he ended up top scorer in the division. So I just think on that balance, I think Brian had a really good season first year. Last season, his second season, not so good. For that reason, I think third season, he's going to really do something. And he will surprise some defences in the Premier League.
And just quickly on Mr. Ivan Toney, do you think he's going to do what he did last year? Do you think he's going to bang the goals in and hopefully keep you up? Or do you think he might need a bit of support and maybe a bit more from someone like maybe Sergi and Brian on the wings?
With Ivan, I think he will continue in the way he played last season. And what I have seen of him in pre-season, he seems to be fully engaged. By that I mean he is running around and he is getting himself involved. And people don't forget that he is one of our best defenders. At set pieces, when we're on the defensive, the number of times he headed the ball away was brilliant last season, and he will continue to do that. So he is a very valuable player. Goal scoring wise, well, it's going to be different. He ain't going to score 32 goals like he did last year. Having said that, as I've already mentioned, I think he does need support. I'm sure he will get double figures, but I'd like to see somebody else also scoring double figures as well. If that happens, we should be safe.
Okay, so where do you think you're going to finish? Come on, give me a position. Be realistic. I think you'll be fine, and I think you'll be between 13th and 16th. But where do you think you're going to finish?
Ambition-wise for this season, to finish in the top of the bottom half would be brilliant. So but if we were to finish 17th, that'd be wonderful. Just to avoid relegation, give us another year in the Premier League. That'd be great.
And before we go, you got us first game of the season, Arsenal Brentford. First game of the whole new season on TV Friday night. Come on, Doug, give me a prediction on that. Be nice.
With regards to our first game of the season and against Arsenal at home on Friday the 13th, which sounds ominous in itself, a lot of Arsenal fans are probably hoping that we win. I can't see that. It will be a great test for us, and it will tell us exactly where we are in our progress. If we can avoid defeat, then that could set us up. Our run of games are all more or less, they've got points that we can get in the first 6 games. So Arsenal, first game, we could catch a cold. Brentford could win, but equally, Arsenal, well, they're Arsenal. They're Premier League, and they've been in the top division for 100 years. So, and that's for no reason other than the fact that they are a good team and always have been.
Thank you so much for coming on. Before I go, just give me one word to describe the upcoming season.
One word to describe the upcoming season: trepidation. And by that, I mean it's going to be an adventure. We're going into the unknown, but there's probably nothing to fear in the unknown. We can do it. And from the fans' perspective, it's going to be great to go to some of these stadiums that we've only dreamed about over the last, well, I've been supporting Brentford for 54 years. And now I can go to all the likes of Manchester United, Liverpool, Manchester City, Newcastle, Everton, Aston Villa, Norwich. That's a great away day, by the way. Arsenal, Chelsea, and be on the same stage league-wise. And it'll be a great season, regardless.